What if the healthy meal you prepared with care, the one sitting in your fridge right now, is silently transforming into a threat to your well-being? We live in a world that worships efficiency, and the practice of cooking in bulk to enjoy leftovers throughout the week seems like the ultimate life hack. It saves time, money, and precious mental energy in our overstimulated lives. This meal prepping ritual, celebrated across social media and productivity blogs, is presented as the pinnacle of responsible, health-conscious living. But what if this convenient habit, this cornerstone of modern self-care, comes with a hidden, insidious cost? Emerging science, delving into the complex biochemistry of our food, is pulling back the curtain on a disturbing and counterintuitive truth. Some of the most wholesome, nutritious foods we eat can become silent saboteurs of our health when reheated. We are not talking about the usual suspects, the highly processed, chemical-laden junk foods, whose dangers are well documented. Instead, the focus is shifting to the very staples you trust with your vitality, the building blocks of a clean diet. Foods that, through the simple, seemingly innocuous act of being warmed up a second time, undergo dangerous chemical changes, spawning compounds that were never there to begin with. This isn't just another fleeting food fad or a scaremongering headline designed for clicks. It's a critical piece of information that could and should fundamentally change how you approach your meals, especially as the years advance and your body's resilience naturally wanes. The invisible, complex processes happening inside your microwave or on your stovetop could be contributing to the very health issues you might otherwise resign yourself to, blaming them on the unavoidable process of getting older, the chronic fatigue, the mysterious digestive upset, the subtle cognitive fog. These could have roots in your reheating habits. Before you open that refrigerator door again to retrieve yesterday's virtuous dinner, you owe it to your long-term health and vitality to understand what is really happening to your food when no one is looking. Here's the deceptive danger of reheated spinach. Spinach stands as a veritable titan in the pantheon of superfoods, universally celebrated for its incredibly dense concentration of essential nutrients. It is a leafy green powerhouse, brimming with vitamins A, C, and K, alongside a wealth of essential minerals like iron, manganese, and folate, which is critical for cellular repair and DNA synthesis. This versatile vegetable is a cornerstone of healthy eating, seamlessly blending into everything from vibrant, detoxifying smoothies and crisp, refreshing salads to rich pasta dishes, savory quiches, and hearty sautés. Its reputation for promoting wellness is impeccable and well-deserved. However, lurking within the cellular structure of this virtuous vegetable is a class of compounds with a profound dual nature: nitrates. In their natural, raw, or freshly cooked state, these nitrates are incredibly beneficial. Once consumed, they are converted by the body into nitric oxide, a crucial signaling molecule that acts as a potent vasodilator, relaxing the inner muscles of our blood vessels. This process improves endothelial function, enhances blood flow, lowers blood pressure, and ultimately supports robust cardiovascular health. The danger, however, emerges from the all-too-common cycle of cooking, cooling, and, most importantly, reheating. When spinach is exposed to heat for a second time, particularly the high, uneven, and intense temperatures generated by a microwave, these helpful nitrates embark on a sinister chemical transformation. They are first converted by heat and opportunistic bacteria into an intermediate form called nitrites. These nitrites can then react with amines, which are naturally present in the spinach and other protein-rich foods it might be cooked with, to form nitrosamines, a class of N-nitroso compounds that have been extensively flagged by major cancer research institutes and the World Health Organization as potent and probable human carcinogens. This molecular betrayal is completely and utterly undetectable to our senses. There is no off-putting smell, no change in color, and no unpleasant taste to warn you of the significantly increased risk you are ingesting. The transformation from beneficial nitrate to dangerous nitrosamine is most pronounced and accelerated when spinach-laden dishes are cooled slowly, left at room temperature for extended periods, or reheated multiple times, creating a cumulative effect. Imagine preparing a large, healthy batch of spinach and feta stuffed chicken breasts, or a lentil and spinach stew on a Sunday for the week ahead. Each time you microwave a portion for a quick lunch or dinner, you are potentially escalating the concentration of these carcinogenic nitrosamines. Over many years of this seemingly harmless and convenient practice, the cumulative low-dose exposure can contribute to a state of chronic systemic inflammation and significant cellular damage. Nitrosamines are known to be powerful alkylating agents, meaning they can attach to our DNA, causing mutations in critical tumor-suppressing genes and initiating the process of carcinogenesis, particularly within the gastrointestinal tract, substantially increasing the long-term risk for conditions like stomach, esophageal, and colorectal cancers. Furthermore, more recent and alarming studies have begun to draw distinct lines between chronic nitrosamine exposure and neurological health, suggesting that these compounds may be capable of crossing the highly selective blood-brain barrier. Once in the brain, they can incite neuroinflammation and oxidative stress, potentially damaging neurons and glial cells and contributing as a hidden environmental factor to the pathogenesis of cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases. The solution isn't to demonize or abandon this incredible vegetable, but to fundamentally shift your consumption habits. Strive to eat spinach fresh in salads or wilted immediately after its first cooking. If you must save leftovers containing spinach, cool them as rapidly as possible. Store them in an airtight container in the refrigerator, and make a conscious choice to consume them cold, perhaps stirred into a grain bowl or wrap, or reheated just once using a very gentle, low and slow temperature method on the stovetop to minimize this dangerous chemical conversion. Doctor, the hidden risk in leftover potatoes. Potatoes are a global comfort food, a humble, satisfying, and wonderfully affordable tuber that forms the very foundation of countless beloved dishes across nearly every culture on Earth. From fluffy, buttery mashed potatoes and crispy, herb-roasted wedges to creamy, tangy potato salads and hearty, warming soups, they are a culinary chameleon. Their versatility and ability to provide deep, starchy satisfaction make them a staple in kitchens everywhere, a reliable source of energy, vitamin C, and potassium. Yet, the way we handle this comforting staple after it is cooked can dramatically and dangerously alter its profile, turning it from a benign source of nourishment into a potential vessel for incredibly potent and harmful bacteria. The primary and most serious concern revolves around a specific bacterium named Clostridium botulinum, the notorious culprit behind botulism, a rare but life-threatening illness that causes paralysis. This bacterium is an anaerobe, meaning it thrives and multiplies in low-oxygen environments, and it is also a spore former. Its spores are ubiquitous in soil, meaning they are almost always present on the surface of raw potatoes, and they are remarkably resistant to heat. While the initial cooking process will kill the active bacteria, it may not be hot enough for long enough to eliminate all the resilient spores. The real danger is created in the cooling phase. The common and seemingly sensible practice of wrapping a warm, freshly baked or boiled potato tightly in aluminum foil before letting it cool on the counter or even putting it in the fridge creates the perfect, insidious breeding ground. As the potato slowly cools inside its foil jacket, the moisture and heat create a steamy, oxygen-deprived incubator, providing the ideal anaerobic, starchy, and nutrient-rich environment for any surviving C. Botulinum spores to germinate, multiply, and most critically, produce their powerful, deadly neurotoxins. These toxins are completely odorless, tasteless, and utterly invisible, meaning a potato can look, smell, and feel perfectly fine while harboring a hidden and potent danger. When you later decide to reheat this potato, whether in the microwave or oven, The heat applied may not be sufficiently high or sustained enough to destroy these preformed heat-stable toxins. For an older adult, whose immune system is naturally less robust due to immunosenescence and whose digestive system may be slower, the body is far less equipped to fend off such a formidable bacterial assault. A full-blown case of botulism is severe, but emerging science is also investigating the potential impact of sublethal, chronic exposure to such bacterial toxins. Our growing and profound understanding of the gut-brain axis reveals that the health of our digestive system is intricately and inextricably linked to our cognitive function, mood, and overall neurological well-being. Introducing bacterial neurotoxins into your gut, even at low levels, can trigger a significant inflammatory response and increase intestinal permeability, a condition often referred to as leaky gut. This allows the toxins and other inflammatory molecules to escape the digestive tract and enter the bloodstream, creating a state of systemic, low-grade inflammation that reverberates throughout the body. This inflammation can directly contribute to persistent brain fog, chronic fatigue, and, over the long term, may elevate the risk of developing or accelerating neurodegenerative diseases. To enjoy the comfort of potatoes safely, it is wisest to cook only what you plan to eat in one sitting. If you do have leftovers, the key is to cool them as quickly as possible and to do so uncovered or in a breathable container in the refrigerator. This allows heat and steam to escape rapidly, preventing the creation of that dangerous anaerobic environment. Never store a cooked potato tightly wrapped in foil. When you do reheat, ensure the potato is heated thoroughly and evenly to an internal temperature of at least 165 degrees, 74 degrees, all the way through, preferably in a conventional oven or on the stovetop, to kill any vegetative bacteria, though remembering that proper cooling is the most critical preventative step. Thus, when a healthy egg turns against you, eggs are, by almost any measure, a perfect package of nutrition, a true gift from nature. They are the undisputed champion of the breakfast table and an incredibly versatile ingredient prized globally for their high-quality, complete protein, which contains all 9 essential amino acids required by the human body. They are an affordable and accessible source of vital nutrients like choline, a compound absolutely crucial for brain development, memory, and the synthesis of neurotransmitters, as well as B vitamins, selenium, and vitamin D. For decades, they have been a cornerstone of a healthy, balanced diet. However, the remarkable integrity of this nutritional powerhouse can be seriously compromised when it is subjected to the process of reheating, particularly through the intense, targeted, and uneven heat of a standard microwave oven. The initial cooking process, whether boiling, scrambling, or frying, beneficially alters the egg's complex protein structures through denaturation, unfolding them in a way that makes them more easily digestible and their nutrients more bioavailable. A second round of heating, however, triggers further chemical changes that are far less desirable and potentially detrimental to health. The sulfur-containing amino acids naturally present in eggs, such as methionine and cysteine, begin to break down and reconfigure under this additional thermal stress. This is what creates that unpleasantly tough, rubbery texture and the faint, but distinct, sulfurous smell that is so characteristic of reheated eggs. While this textural and aromatic degradation is a common nuisance, a much more serious and invisible health concern is simultaneously unfolding within the nutrient-rich yolk. The cholesterol found naturally in egg yolks, a lipid that is essential for producing hormones and building cell membranes, can become highly unstable when exposed to high temperatures for a second time. It can undergo a process of oxidation, reacting with oxygen to form a dangerous family of compounds known as cholesterol oxidation products, or oxysterols. The body of scientific literature has consistently and increasingly linked the dietary consumption of oxysterols to a marked increase in systemic inflammation and a significantly higher risk of developing cardiovascular disease. These oxysterols are insidious. They can directly contribute to the buildup of atherosclerotic plaque in the arteries by promoting the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, damaging the delicate endothelial cells that line our blood vessels and triggering an inflammatory cascade within the arterial walls. For older adults, whose cardiovascular systems are already more vulnerable to the effects of aging and whose bodies are inherently less efficient at managing and resolving inflammation, this represents a significant, yet frequently overlooked, dietary risk. The chronic, low-grade inflammation spurred by dietary choices like consuming reheated eggs has also been convincingly tied to cognitive impairment, as inflammation in the body can easily translate to neuroinflammation in the brain, creating an environment that is more susceptible to the development of neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's and dementia. To sidestep these considerable risks and harness the full, unadulterated benefits of this nutritional gem, it is unequivocally best to prepare and enjoy eggs fresh. If you prepare a batch of hard-boiled eggs for convenience throughout the week, embrace their versatility in cold preparations. Consider eating them chilled, perhaps sliced into a vibrant salad, mashed into a creamy egg salad sandwich on whole-grain bread, or layered onto avocado toast, rather than subjecting them to the damaging, oxidizing heat of a microwave or pan. The problem with second-day chicken. Chicken has rightfully earned its esteemed place as the cornerstone of modern healthy eating. As a premier source of lean protein, it is remarkably versatile, relatively inexpensive compared to other meats, and offers a wealth of high-quality protein with significantly less saturated fat than many cuts of red meat. It provides the essential amino acids needed for muscle repair and synthesis, making it a favorite among athletes and a crucial component in preventing age-related muscle loss or sarcopenia. It is no wonder that health-conscious individuals across the globe often cook chicken in bulk, preparing grilled breasts or roasted thighs to have ready-made portions for quick, easy, and protein-packed meals throughout a busy week. The problem, however, arises not from the chicken itself, but from what happens to its molecular structure when this cooked meat is reheated. The dense, complex protein structure of chicken, which is beneficially broken down and unraveled into a more digestible form during the initial cooking, changes dramatically and detrimentally upon reheating. This second blast of heat, especially the rapid and uneven energy from a microwave, causes the protein fibers to denature further, tighten, and aggregate into more compact, rigid configurations. This alteration makes them significantly harder for your body's digestive enzymes, like pepsin in the stomach and trypsin in the small intestine, to break down and absorb effectively. For a young person with a robust and efficient digestive system, this might only lead to a subtle feeling of heaviness or indigestion. For an older individual, however, whose natural production of digestive enzymes and stomach acid has likely declined with age, this can lead to very real and uncomfortable bloating, painful gas, and significant digestive distress, preventing them from accessing the very nutrients they need. Beyond this immediate digestive discomfort lies a far more systemic and damaging issue. Reheating proteins like chicken, especially at high temperatures and in a dry environment, drastically promotes the formation of a class of harmful inflammatory compounds known as advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These compounds are formed through a non-enzymatic reaction between sugars and proteins or fats, and they are exactly what their ominous name implies. They prematurely age your body from the inside out by contributing to immense oxidative stress and chronic low-grade inflammation. This isn't the kind of acute, helpful inflammation you see with an injury. It is a silent, slow-burning fire that smolders constantly in the background, now understood by scientists to be a key contributor to the development and progression of nearly every major age-related chronic disease, including heart disease, type 2 diabetes, kidney failure, and neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's. These ingested AGs circulate in the body and bind to special receptors on our cells, triggering a cascade that damages tissues. They cross-link with structural proteins like collagen and elastin, causing the stiffening of arteries, the wrinkling of skin, and the degradation of joints. This cumulative inflammatory load can drain your energy, cloud your thinking, and profoundly weaken your body's overall resilience to stressors. To mitigate this significant risk, it's time to reconsider how you use leftover chicken. Instead of automatically reheating it, shred it cold and toss it into vibrant salads, nutrient-dense wraps, or satisfying sandwiches. If you absolutely must warm it, do so gently, evenly, and for the shortest time possible on a stovetop over low heat, perhaps with a little broth or water to add moisture, or in a low-temperature oven, steadfastly avoiding the harsh and uneven power of the microwave, which maximizes the formation of these damaging compounds. The delicate nature of reheated mushrooms. Mushrooms are one of the most fascinating, delicious, and nutritionally unique foods available to us. Occupying their own biological kingdom separate from plants and animals, these remarkable fungi are loaded with a unique profile of powerful antioxidants such as ergothioneine and selenium, a host of B vitamins vital for energy metabolism, and potent immune-modulating compounds called beta-glucans. These beta-glucans have been extensively studied for their remarkable role in supporting a healthy, balanced immune response, and have even shown promise in research for their ability to help the body combat certain cancers. Their complex, savory umami flavor and satisfying meaty texture make them a gourmet addition to a huge and diverse variety of dishes, from rustic pastas and elegant risottos to simple, earthy sautés. However, the cellular structure of mushrooms is incredibly delicate, and their unique composition of complex proteins, enzymes, and a high water content makes them particularly susceptible to rapid degradation when they are reheated. When cooked fresh, their cellular components break down in a way that beneficially releases their wonderful flavors and makes their precious nutrients bioavailable for our bodies to absorb. But when you subject already cooked mushrooms to a second round of heat, that delicate structure breaks down even further, leading to a complete cellular collapse. This process often results in a rubbery, unpleasantly slimy, or watery texture that is a very clear and visible telltale sign of profound nutritional and structural loss occurring at the molecular level. This degradation is not merely a matter of compromised taste and texture. It can also lead directly to significant digestive upset. The profoundly altered and reconfigured proteins in reheated mushrooms can become exceptionally difficult for the body to process and recognize, leading to a heavy, leaden feeling in the stomach, uncomfortable bloating, gas, and general digestive discomfort. This problem is significantly magnified in older adults or anyone with a more sensitive digestive system, as their bodies are less equipped to handle such difficult-to-digest materials. Furthermore, the combination of improper storage and subsequent reheating can cause the delicate polyunsaturated fats and unique proteins within the mushrooms to oxidize, creating free radicals and other pro-inflammatory compounds that add to your body's total oxidative stress load. Oxidative stress is now understood to be a key driver of the aging process at a fundamental, cellular level, fueling the persistent, low-grade chronic inflammation, a state now termed inflammaging, that underlies so many debilitating age-related diseases. By habitually consuming reheated mushrooms, you may be inadvertently foregoing their potent health benefits while simultaneously adding to this dangerous inflammatory burden, a combination that can potentially accelerate cellular aging and weaken your body's natural defenses over time. To best preserve the nutritional integrity and delightful texture of mushrooms, it is crucial to handle them with care. Cook them until they are just done, avoiding overcooking them into submission. If you have leftovers, cool them rapidly and store them in the refrigerator inside a paper bag or in a container lined with a paper towel to absorb the excess moisture that promotes spoilage and bacterial growth. For the best experience, Consume them cold or at room temperature, perhaps tossed into a salad, mixed into an antipasto platter, or used as a sophisticated topping for bruschetta. If reheating is an absolute necessity, a very quick sauté in a hot pan for no more than a minute is far superior to the destructive, texture-ruining heat of a microwave.